Coach, part of history with the first 3-on-3 overtime game. Thoughts on tonight?
Well, I thought we started the game off well. I thought both teams kind of exchanged some chances there in the first period. Second period, I thought we got away from our game a little bit. Obviously give them credit because they force you to kind of play a tough game, and if you're not playing a tough game, they'll be all over you, and that's what they did. And then I thought the third period, towards the end of the third period, last 12 minutes, I thought our guys really stepped up their game, and nice goal by Chris Joyo, nice play by Jack Rozovic behind the net, and over time you get in situations anything can happen, and for NCAA purposes, that's a good tie for us against what we think is a top team in the nation, and then we played 3-on-3, which is our first crack at it, and I thought we did a pretty good job. It's tough when you play 3-on-3. If you get possession of the puck, it's pretty hard to get it off of somebody, So the fact that we got it and were able to make a play with it was nice, because if you don't, they're coming back the other way. So all in all, a good response from last night, and we were pleased with it, and something to build on now and get ready for the Buckeyes.
Coach, you mentioned a bit of a charge in the last 12 minutes. Is there any specific catalyst you can remember, or something that you say to the guys that gets them going towards the end of the game?
No, I thought our guys just kind of dug deep a little bit and started to play our game the way we want them to play, and they could feel it, using our speed and, just making simple plays. We forget this team's a little bit young still up front, and sometimes it takes a little bit of time to understand the level of compete that you have to play with, and I thought our guys did that in the third period, so it was a good sign.
I've noticed a lot of battles on the boards and in the corners tonight. I think Miami did a good job winning a lot of those. Is there anything specific?
Winning battles is all about gut check time. It's the will, it's the willpower. It's one-on-one, and whether you want it more than the other guy, and that's something I think as a young player you have to learn at this level, and I think we grew up tonight in terms of that. Now we got to build on it and focus a little bit more on that compete level and making hard plays and in all three zones, and that's what we're going to do.
So you're giving up 7 last night, come back defensively and keep Providence to 2. What kind of adjustments do you make to try to limit opportunities?
Again, defense is all about sacrifice. You got to block shots. You got to be in good position. You got to have good sticks, and we did that tonight. We had a ton of block shots. We kept them to the outside. When they did penetrate, Ryan McKay was there for us, and they're a good team. They're going to get their chances. We play good teams all the time, and it's going to be back and forth, and you have to block shots. You got to make saves, and then you got to take it to them at the other end. And I thought we did that in the third period.
Coach, good contribution from freshmen in all aspects of the game, specifically Josh Melnick getting the winner tonight. What has your message been to the young guys to get them ready for NCAA play?
Go out and play. Go out and play, and make sure you keep things simple and compete. I think our upperclassmen have done a good job of relaying that message to our younger guys, and they're growing. They're growing. We're in a process here. We all know that the process sometimes takes a little bit longer than we want when you have a young team. But again, I think tonight we took a step forward, and our job is to continue to take a step forward.
So you got a nice mix of veterans and young guys, and I know it's a small sample size of games, but how do you feel like everything's coming together so far?
Well, with the exception of last night, obviously we weren't too happy with it, but I thought tonight we played a hard game. We're going to be in these games all year long. We know that. Our conference is like that. Our non-conference schedule is a tough one, and so you have to stay in the game. You got to make plays so that you can live to play another day, if you will. And the mix is good. It's going to be a good team. But let's not forget the process here. Let's not forget the growth and the maturity that has to happen here in the next little while. And our job as coaches is to hold them accountable to the standard that we've set for our program and that they've set for themselves. So it starts with the individual, and then the coaches hopefully can do their part, and we get another opportunity at a non-conference opponent next week in Ohio State, and we got to get better.
Anyone already asked you about the 3-on-3 yet, and how it felt getting a little taste of that early here?
Yeah, I mentioned a little bit earlier the 3-on-3 is obviously something in our league conference play that we have to go with. If the game ends in a tie after 5 minutes of overtime. So we have some video now. We have some experience with it. I think we can strategize a little bit. We have a good feel for it. Like I said earlier, you better score on your chances because if you don't, it's coming back the other way. So there's some things that we have to learn from it. You can't really, when you push, you got to push in the right way, and you can't be too eager, and yet you got to be a little bit on the offensive side. So we'll talk with our guys a little bit, and we'll come up with a better plan than maybe it looked like tonight.
All right. Josh, first ever NCHC playoff 3-on-3 overtime game, and you made history with the winner. How does it feel to be a Trailblazer?
It feels pretty good. I think tonight was definitely a team effort. You watched the clip of that last goal. It was all my teammates' work. Sean won a battle on the left side. I just kind of stepped to the middle shot and trickled in.
It seemed like most of that second period you guys were on your heels a little bit, and they were meeting you at that blue line, forcing you to play dump and chase hockey. Third period, you guys turned it around, outshot them 11-4 in the final frame, getting that evening tally. What do you guys sort of fix or maybe tweak a little bit in that second intermission to come out and fire on all cylinders?
I think it was just about having a high compete level. We came out really hard in the first half of the period. Then we let back a little, but that happened last night, and we didn't want the same thing to happen again. So I think we responded really well. It was a really hard-fought battle to the end.
You've made a pretty good contribution, early, including a goal last night, a lot of time on special teams as well. What's it like trying to meld with a new system with such short time?
Yeah, well, I've been pretty fortunate to be put in the positions I am. I just try and go out there and do my best every shift. I've had a lot of assistance from older guys help me learn new systems, and coach has been really hard on us about learning them and in practice, and I think that showed tonight.
Sean, team made history with a 3-on-3 overtime game, first in NCHC history, but more than that, seemed a good response. Your thoughts on today?
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy to come back after a big loss like that, and pretty happy with how the guys responded. That's a good team over there. They're gonna win a lot of games this year, and I don't know, from one night to the next, I was happy with the steps we made, and obviously there's a ton more to make, but I think it was a step in the right direction.
Second period, I think you guys struggled a little bit to gain that offensive zone and really possess the puck. In third period, you turned it around, outshot them by a pretty wide margin, and got that game-tying goal. What did you guys do differently in that offensive zone and the neutral zone to gain into the offensive zone to start getting those chances?
Yeah, it's all about getting pucks behind their D. Their gaps are good, and you got to get pucks behind them. And every time we got pucks behind them, we made them turn and play defense. The more those D are on defenses, the better. They're really good D, and they want to play offense just like everybody else. But getting the puck behind them was a main focus we had. And once we started doing that, we were a little bit more sustained offense.
You threw that weight around a little bit in the overtime, especially in that winning goal. You finished your check in the corner, and puck squirted back out to Melnick. End of the game, you're looking tired, but how'd it feel to finish that check off and get the? Did you get credited for the assist? I never saw a final stat.
I'm not sure.
Technically, it's not official.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got it. Yeah. Got a credit for an unofficial assist. Who really cares? But you know what? I don't even know. I was just trying to finish my hits all night and not thinking anything other than just trying to play hard and battle through it and play with grit like we talk about, and just how it goes.
Melnick with one unofficial goal and one official goal in 2 games, but you've been getting contributions from a lot of the freshmen early. What's that like, trying to mix those guys into the lineup?
Yeah, we're gonna need them. We like we said, we lost a lot, and those guys are gonna have to step up and score goals, and they've been good, and we're gonna need them to keep getting better, and everyone's gonna have to keep getting better. And for him, he's had a great start, and he's working hard. I mean, when he's getting rewarded for his hard work, it's the bottom line, and happy for him.
You mentioned trying to bounce back from a tough loss that you took last night. What do you say as a captain to the guys in the locker room to get them going today?
Yeah, it was just about flipping the page and trying to get better. And we played some good hockey for a short period of time Friday night, and it's just doing that for 60 minutes and working on making sure you're up 1-0. It's 10 minutes into the game. You got 50 more minutes to play, and we just said play a full 60 tonight. Let's just see what happens if we play a full 60 minutes, and see what happens if we do stick to our systems for a night, and don't falter or change that at all. And that's what we did. We were down 2-1, and guys stuck to the systems. Give them credit, and we changed a few things, and sticking to it kind of paid off for us a bit.
Sean, that grit and emotion that you were speaking to just a moment ago was pretty obvious as a spectator tonight. How much of that is you settling into your game as the season progresses, and how much of it is you trying to inspire the troops behind you after a night like Friday?
Yeah, man, I think it's just something that coaches instill in us. It's just play hard and play with passion and emotion, have fun out there, and it's just trying to play my role and do the best I can. And if it's inspiring somebody, that's great. And hopefully, there's a lot of guys playing really hard out there. It's there's a lot of guys doing the right things. So it's just building off them and getting better every day. I'm not where I want to be yet, and I know the guys aren't, but we'll just keep working all week and see if we can get closer next weekend.
Alex, 2 assists each night, and second one was huge here tonight as well. Just what's it like, mixing in with those young guys and finding that offensive touch early on in the season?
Well, playing with Louie and Jack, it's pretty special. I sometimes get in practice just kind of get amazed just by some of the plays they can make with the puck, and I just know my role in this line to go out, work hard, and try to get them the puck and get to the net, and so far it's working. So.
You sort of transitioned to be one of the leaders on this team, one of the older presences in the locker room. And how did you judge your team's sort of shift from last night after a tough loss to tonight, really battling back and finding a way to get it done in the third period?
It's great. Obviously, we got a handful of veterans and also a handful of first years. So just to see how they responded to big adversity was great. The sky's the limit for our team. Obviously, we still got a lot of work to do, but that's a good step in the right direction.
You spoke last night after the game about how everyone kind of maybe needed to just go home, take a look in the mirror. Obviously, they responded. What kind of little changes do you guys make individually for your game moving into a night like tonight?
If something's not going well the night before, you just got to go back, reassess your role, see what you did good, or see what didn't work that night, and just go back to making simple hockey plays. And I think everyone did that. Big kudos to Chris Joyo. Came in, got a big time goal. I know he was out the night before, but that's the type we need. That's the leadership we need for sure.
You guys won a lot of battles in the corners and along the boards. There were a lot of battles tonight. What kind of toll does that take physically, and how do you progress through the game into the third period and then eventually 2 overtimes to try to keep up physically?
Yeah, especially a team like Providence. They're well conditioned. They won't give you any chance. They're really hard on the back check. But kudos to JR for off-season programming. I really believe we're one of the best conditioned teams in the country. And if we have to go deep in like that, I like our chances.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.